Hello and welcome back to Exothermic Plays Games. I'm Exothermic and the date today is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. I've been doing a countdown of my favorite video games of all time through each day of the year, and coming in at number 91 is Marvel Snap. Marvel Snap is a digital card game that I've almost exclusively played on my phone, though I did record this on the PC version because, well, it looks better. It's all tied to the same account though, so that's nice. The game was developed by Second Diner Games as their first and currently only game. The company was started by Ben Brode, who was the creator of Hearthstone, my 97th favorite game. Obviously, the dude knows how to make good digital card games. You build a deck of 12 cards and play them to 3 different locations over a series of usually 6 turns, and whoever is winning 2 of the 3 locations at the end wins the game. You win a location if you have the most power there. While almost everything I say can be contradicted by different location or card text, this is usually how it works. You gain 1 energy per turn, which also refreshes on all of the following turns. So on turn 1 you have 1 to work with, on turn 2 you have 2, and so on. You can play cards from your hand to a location face down. Each location has a unique ability, and this often may drastically change your strategy. After each player has selected everything they want to do on their turn, one player flips all of their stuff first, and then the other player flips all of their stuff, and you alternate which player goes first with that. Many cards have abilities that happen when they're revealed, though some have ongoing abilities that are just passive buffs or other effects, and others have no abilities at all. There's a ton of strategies you can implement in the game, and while I've tinkered a lot, there's one in particular I've gravitated towards. More on that in a bit though. As you play through all 6 turns, at any point you have the option to snap, doubling the amount of cubes you're risking on the result of the game. Cubes are how you rank up and down throughout the game, and there's a progression system where you can earn rewards by reaching higher ranks within a given season, basically a month long. This risk and reward system is the driving factor for the whole game, and if both players snap, it's doubled yet again. You have the option at all times to retreat, forfeiting the match and your cubes, but at least it won't get worse for you. If both players stick through to the conclusion of the match organically, all cubes get doubled one last time, meaning you could win or lose up to 8 cubes per game. So what's my plan for all of these cubes? I'm gonna throw it over to myself for a little pre-recorded deck tech for you. Okay, so this is the main deck that I like to play in the game. I call it Wongers. It's built around Wong. He is my favorite card in Marvel Snap. Everything here is built around making him as insane as possible, although there are plans and backup plans in case I don't draw him. Every once in a while, I do just draw terribly, and that's part of the nature of the game. You just retreat when it becomes apparent that you can't do any of your meaningful things, and you take that loss, but then you maximize your chance to win on games where you would be snapping and getting a lot of bonus points that way. That's kind of the main idea with the game, is good deck building, and I'm not saying I'm a great deck builder, but good deck building is if you want to climb in rank. I've been told by people that have done so and are good at deck building, is you want people to feel like they are going to win, only for you to then suddenly soul-crushingly defeat them. So, the deck is built around Wong. He says ongoing, so this happens constantly as long as he's in play. Your on-reveal abilities here, meaning at that particular location that I played him at, happen twice. So I'm just going to kind of talk about the main combo and then some of the other cards. So the idea is that you have Wong, and then you play some other ongoing cards, and then On your turn 6, you play Odin. Repeat the on-reveal abilities of your other cards here. Now that itself is an on-reveal card. So Wong will make him trigger twice. So if I have, for example, Ironheart in a location, so on reveal, give 3 of your other cards +2 power. I have Wong in a location, on reveal abilities here happen twice. And I have White Tiger on reveal, add a 8 power Tiger to another location. So let's say just an easy curve, I can play literally no other cards this game, and this sometimes is enough to win me the game. On turn 3, I play Ironheart, even though at this point, if I do it without playing other cards, it would give nothing to anyone, because it'd be the only card in play at the time I play it. It would still be there for later. And then on turn 4, I play Wong. And again, he won't do anything right away, but that's fine because he's setting up the combo. And then on turn 5, I play White Tiger. I make 2 tigers. So that goes to 2 of the other slots, other locations. So assuming I've played nothing, there's a total of 8 slots. So we fill up 2 of them. There's 6 remaining. And then I play Odin. So that will trigger Ironheart twice, because it goes in order of the way they're positioned on the location. So it would trigger Ironheart twice. So I would give basically an additional 12 power across wherever it winds up randomly going. And then it would trigger White Tiger twice. So I would add another 2 tigers. So I'm down to 4 empty slots on the other locations. And then I would trigger Odin again. So I would trigger Ironheart twice again, giving another +12, and then White Tiger filling another 2 slots. So without playing any other cards but these 4, if I do it in the correct order, then every spot except for 2 on the whole board is filled, and most of them are being taken up by at least 8 power cards. It's at least, because Ironheart could have pumped some of the others. It's a crazy combo that if you don't know how it works, you're going to lose to it if you don't disrupt me. Now I say if you don't disrupt me, there are some ways. This card right here, Cosmo, is the bane of my existence. People that know how to play against Wong decks know when to play Cosmo. Basically, you wait until I play Wong, and then the turn after that, you just play Cosmo at the same place. Cosmo has ongoing on-reveal abilities, won't happen here. Cosmo's a good boy. I love Cosmo as a character. I hate Cosmo as a card. If someone plays Cosmo, I just retreat. There's pretty much no way for me to win with a Cosmo shutting down the whole deck. So what do the other cards do? Uatu. He's a 1 cost at the start of the game, shows unrevealed locations to you. This is very much just a flex spot. This can be a lot of things. I haven't been playing that much for... I played a lot when the game first came out, as I've probably already mentioned in the video. But I'm missing a lot of cards. And I've seen things that probably I would play instead of Uatu, but with what I have, I like them. So this allows me to really kind of make sure that I don't screw up setup. And there's various reasons I might play cards to specific locations before they're revealed. Like I have Scarlet Witch here, 2 cost on reveal, replace this location with a new one. If I know that there is a 3rd location somewhere or whatever, the 3rd location is something that somehow is going to mess up my whole plan. Like if it's, for example, the one that says on turn 6, you swap hands with your opponent. Well, if I don't have Odin in my hand on turn 6, then my deck is very hindered. So Uatu helps me kind of dodge a lot of that. I'm going to get to Psylocke in a bit. Wolfsbane is just a backup, like, power boost. If I don't get Ironheart, I can play Wolfsbane, and that will make that one location very big. as opposed to spreading across the whole board, and hopefully the 8 powers from the Tigers is enough. Storm and Scarlet Witch are basically there to stop problem locations, but Storm has another benefit, flooding this location. So this is when it's flooding. This is the last turn cards can be played here, and then it is flooded. Cards can't be played here. So I have multiple cards that can put things at locations without technically playing them. So that allows me to lock down a location and then put more power to it later, in addition to possibly spreading power out with Ironheart. So like White Tiger, obviously, but Doctor Doom is my backup 6-drop. On reveal, add a 5-power Doombot to each other location. It's definitely not as good as far as how the deck is built as White Tiger, but if I don't have Odin, it does help me fill out the board and do a lot of other stuff. Gambit. On reveal, discard a card from your hand to destroy a random enemy card. So sometimes I don't get Odin and I don't get Doctor Doom. This is actually a in disguise additional 6-drop, but the idea is that I would play it alongside either Ironheart or Wolfsbane. If I have one left in my hand, I would play both of the. I would play Gambit and one of those. If I could play it at a location with Wong, cool. If not, it's not the end of the world. Black Panther, similarly to Wolfsbane, Black Panther does that same idea, but much better, but obviously it costs more. So Black Panther, Wolfsbane, and Gambit and Uatu are definitely my biggest flex spots. Everything else here feels really locked in, and I experiment with things, but over playing this deck a whole bunch of times, I really like this configuration. Psylocke is the last card I haven't talked about. So with Psylocke, you actually, and there's a lot of cool Psylocke cards, but with Psylocke, you 2 cost, 2 power, pretty much relevant on the power. On reveal next turn, you get +1 energy. This enables 2 lines and sometimes fringe other ones depending on locations, but for the most part, it's here to do 2 things. If I play Psylocke on turn 2, then that allows me to play Wong on turn 3, and then Ironheart on turn 4, and then Tiger, and then Odin. This allows me to get basically 2 extra triggers from Ironheart, or 3 extra triggers from Ironheart, because when I first play Ironheart, she will do meaningful things, and then, no, it is 2. I can't math. So she'll do meaningful things, and then also it would trigger twice because Wong would already be there. So that's giving my board basically an extra 12-ish power. It won't actually be 12 unless I play Uatu, but it's fine. And then the other thing that Psylocke does is if I don't draw Wong, then I can play... if I don't draw Wong and I draw both 6-drops, or if I draw a 6-drop and multiple 3-drops, in a way that it makes sense to do this, I can play Psylocke on turn 4, which allows me to play, for example, Doctor Doom on turn 5, and then Odin on turn 6. So I still get the extra trigger of the Doom bots, and I get to fill the board. It pretty much guarantees my board will be filled. So that is Wongers. There's a lot of other strategies in the game, but this is by far the deck I've had the most fun with. There's a lot you can do. I have a very small amount of the card pool, and this is, you know, pretty good amount of cards. The game is filled with options. I'm going to talk about it more in the rest of the video. This is a separate pre-recorded thing, but yeah, Wongers. So yeah, I love Wong. He's the best. But there's so many more strategies than that, and there's loads of viable stuff. You can have decks that blow up their own things to get huge benefits, decks that strive only to make it extremely difficult for your opponent to enact their own gameplay, decks that pick up and play the same cards several times over, or decks that actually just move everything around constantly and try to gain the best angle in the end. There's so many more, and I could never list them all. But there is incentive to play them all, eventually. Over the course of the season, there's different rewards you can unlock from missions. You get daily missions that refresh at set intervals, and there's season missions that slowly unlock, and some of them can be really specific based on that season, like playing with very specific cards together or doing very specific mechanics, though most of them are admittedly more broad than that. There's scaling bonus rewards for getting enough experience from missions to unlock crates and get gold, the premium currency of the game. What do you spend currency on? Well, in addition to being able to buy the cards with it, you're mostly using it on boosters. No, not like booster packs, but booster items. You can gain these slowly through regular play with a random card in your deck, gaining a number of boosters based on the number of turns you got to take in that game, so usually 6. However, you might need up to 50 boosters to upgrade a card, and there's different levels of that, so the smaller ones are lower amounts that you need, but you get bigger rewards for the higher ones later. Now, if you're familiar with the game, I know what you're thinking. Upgrading cards? That sounds pretty pay to win. It's very much not. You can't upgrade what the cards do, but instead upgrade how they look. There's loads of steps to this, and as you upgrade appearances, you gain player levels, which can unlock tons of rewards from additional currency to cosmetics to, and this is important, new cards. That's the main way you get new cards for the game, is by upgrading cosmetics. Thankfully, you only need one of each card, and you can't actually get duplicates, so the game is really forgiving in that regard, but the cosmetic changes are great, and there's tons of amazing art in the game. Maybe you want to collect a specific artist, maybe you want to collect a specific style, maybe you don't care at all, and in that case, this is one of the most generous free-to-play models you'll ever play in your life. Now, you still might be thinking it sounds pay to win, because if upgrading cards is how you get more cards, surely spending money on upgrading cards gives you a big advantage, right? Well, actually, for the most part, no. The matchmaking in the game prioritizes matching you against other players with a comparable player level to you, meaning if you have a small collection, you'll play against other people with small collections. If you have all the tools in the world, guess what? So will your opponent. It's a brilliant idea and really the best way I've ever seen to level playing fields and reduce barriers to entry in a card game. But what if you don't want to just endlessly grind? What if you think playing random single game matches can be boring? Well, don't worry. There's Conquest Mode, which is, I think, the best way to play the game if you've got some time. Individual games are really fast, usually less than 10 minutes. That's great. But if you want a little more meat on the bone, you can play Conquest Mode, which is a series of gauntlets, though you thankfully don't have to do them all at the same time. Basically, you start with a free entry, which is a single match. Each match in Conquest, you start with 10 life, and you play a series of games where instead of gaining and losing cubes for your ladder ranking, you're betting your life points. Maybe it's a blowout, pretty much one and done. Most people concede here if they're down 2 to 10 life. Maybe you're both unsure about snapping and you're trading 1 or 2 points at a time, which can take a long time actually, but is super exciting. Anyways, win the free one and you get a ticket for a bigger one. That's multiple rounds of this. Win that and you get another ticket for an even bigger one with massive prizes. Alternatively, if you don't want to grind out the tickets the free way, you can just pay your way into the higher tier events, and that's fine. Playing multiple games in a row allows you to really learn and prepare for your opponent's strategy, and makes some of those control cards and hosers like Cosmo really valuable, because you're not just fumbling around in the dark anymore. I love Conquest, and while I don't actually play much Marvel Snap nowadays, it's my preferred way to do it. That being said, when I do play Snap, I play a lot of it, usually picking it back up at the start of a new season and just binging it for that month, then burning out spectacularly and putting it away for quite a while again. Join me tomorrow as I talk about my 90th favorite game where I commit crimes on horseback.